Hi everyone, today I am going to be reviewing the new Salomon S-Lab Ultra. This is a replacement for the S-Lab Sense Ultra. Originally I think it was going to be called the Sense Ultra 2, but Salomon have had a new naming convention, so now this is now known as the S-Lab Ultra. So first off, how does this compare to the predecessor? Well, the Salomon Sense Ultra was Salomon's best-selling S-Lab product ever, so this has got big shoes to fill, pun intended. Initially, design-wise, it is quite different. You don't have the block colours, you've now got the graduation from red to black, which is purely down to, I guess, personal taste, whether you think it looks better or not. A few other design features which are noticeable straight away are that they also have these additional bits on the side which are designed to allow for a better grip around your foot to make it more comfortable as well. And a final quite noticeable difference is a change to the quick lace system on the tongue and how that is actually then integrated. So rather than coming in from the underside, which it used to do on the predecessor, you now come in from the top. Weight wise, the new shoe is 300 grams for a size 9. The predecessor was 275, so 25 grams heavier for the new shoe. Also, the drop, I think in the predecessor was 9mm, whereas this one is 8mm. The drop in the predecessor was 27mm to 18mm heel to toe, whereas this one is looking at 26mm to 18mm, so a slight difference there as well. Another difference is Salomon have put in what they're calling the energy save in the forefoot section. This will mean that it's more resilient and takes longer for the shoe to compress over time. The previous model had an EVA dual density, so that'll be interesting to see how that feels when out running. There is a difference in the lug design from the previous model, but overall the depth of the lugs looks to be similar, and it is also the same material that's been used to create the grip in both the predecessor and this model. The shoe has received quite a lot of press attention. It's been in development for a number of years. It was designed with the help of Francois Diane, who obviously wore it famously to the UTMB win in 2017. Some of the other changes which have probably contributed slightly to the weight is that it seems to be a little bit more robust up in the top as well, which means it should be quite hard wearing. I did do a review of the previous model, you can see that up there. I've now run over 800 kilometers, over 500 miles in those shoes. I wore them at multiple races last year, around sort of 40 to 50 miles, so sort of 60 to 70 kilometers give or take in distance. They were my racing shoe of choice last year, and I wore them at multiple races, and I really did like them. If you did see my review, you will see that they were a great shoe. I did have concern about the durability, but overall they've held up really well. So I'm very keen to see how the new shoes compare and whether it's worth moving on to these full time for racing or whether to look at maybe replacing my older ones. So I'm going to take these out on the trails, get a good few long runs into them and let you know what I think. I've had the S-Lab Ultra for a couple of weeks now, and these are my initial thoughts. First off, when you put the shoe on, I noticed that it is significantly more narrow in the mid and the forefoot compared to the previous S-Lab Sense Ultra. So looking at the two side by side, I'm not sure if it's noticeable when looking at them from this angle, but certainly when I put it on it was a lot more narrow, as I said, around the mid and forefoot. So my first thing I would mention is that if you are thinking of buying these and you enjoyed the Sense Ultra shoes, definitely try them out before, because the fit is very different from the previous Sense models. Also, over time I've found with the Sense that they're a bit more flexible and that it adjusts to the foot shape. These seem to be more rigid. The second point to highlight was around the cushioning, and this may just be personal preference, running style, I'm not too sure, but I felt that the cushioning was less than in the Sense Ultra model, and that overall you felt the ground a little bit more, so rocks, things like that, you could feel a little bit more. For an Ultra shoe, longer distance, I'm not sure whether that's something I would personally be looking for. The lace system is a vast improvement, I would say. The old system, when you put the lace in the tongue, Although it isn't too much hassle, I find when your hands are cold, wearing gloves can be a little bit difficult if you're trying to take your shoes on and off, trying to get stones out, things like that, or adjust them. The new system is a lot easier to use. I think that's a great improvement, and I hope that they roll that out across the other shoes in the range in upcoming newer models. The outsole is different from the predecessor. Slightly different design, and if anything I'd say it's more similar to the S-Lab Sense. This is the 6. Comparing the two, you can see that they're quite similar in their design, although the lugs are marginally deeper on the Ultras, I would say, although it could be that it's just that that's an older model. Overall the grip is good, apart from when you get into the very wet and muddy conditions, and again with a number of Salomon shoes, I've mentioned it in previous reviews, is that when you get onto wet rock, I'm not sure the Contra Grip compound is the best out there. I think there are other brands which are better when you get onto the wet rock, but overall it's good, it's comfortable. In summary, are these shoes right for me? Well, personally, I think the fact that they are more narrow, so on longer runs as my feet expand, I'm not sure they're as comfortable for me personally as the previous model. Also, the less cushioning, I felt there was less cushioning, again as this is a longer shoe. I'm not sure that's such a good thing for me in my running style. And finally for me, the weight, they are heavier than the predecessor as well. So as looking on the Salomon website earlier today, both of these shoes are advertised in the UK at £150, and I think that I would rather have the Sense Ultra than the S-Lab Ultra. I really did want to like these shoes and get on with them, but just the narrower mid and forefoot sections don't really agree with me. I know from some of the comments in previous videos that people have found Salomon shoes narrow in the past. These are even more narrow, as I mentioned. So I think if you are looking to try these shoes, definitely try them on first. I'm not sure if these, again, the way they've been designed, are more suitable for the elite runners, but for a mid-pack runner like myself, I think that this is a more versatile and better shoe for me to train and run and race in. Have you tried the S-Lab Ultra or the previous model, the Sense Ultra? I would love to hear your thoughts and how you've got on with it. Please leave a comment down below. There is a link to all the shoes featured in this video as well down below if you want to check any of them out. And finally, if you haven't already, please do subscribe to the channel. I really do appreciate all the support and the feedback which you guys provide.